Cinco and Black. It sound like a fake Cosby. That sound like the fake Cosby theme song or some shit. I ain't know if you was dramatic pausing or was gonna come back. I was like, what was you doing?
I was dramatic pausing. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you finish what you had to say? Get back to it real quick. End it off. What's up, people?
Oh, I was still waiting for your dramatic pause. I was waiting for you to
I
bring it
did it
back.
already. I waited for you to finish what you.
Oh, all right, yo. We in the building, y'all. Cinco and Black back again. What's up, my friends?
Up, companion
Hope y'all are doing
viewers.
well. Hope y'all are doing well. What we here today? Here reviewing Rebel Moon 2. Rebel Moon 2. Rebel Moon 1 and 2, right?
Just gonna do two.
We leaving one? We leaving one alone?
Want to talk about one? Let's talk about both. Go ahead. Lead the way, sir. I'm down. Honestly.
No. We could just speed through one. It wasn't really much
Yeah.
there.
All right. Because honestly, I still gotta go back and watch the actual video for that. So I'm probably gonna do that. And if it's not bad, I don't know why it's not out anyways. But
I
if it's
mean,
not bad, we'll get that out at some point too. It might be before
number one sets
two.
the tone.
Two. It might be before two. It might be after two gets on YouTube. So you'll see it eventually if we decide to. You'll find out.
I mean, number one sets it just sets the tone.
It do.
That's all
So
it does. You know
that's
what I
why
mean?
we could brief it here.
Sets the tone with what you call it, the general who broke away from the empire. It's like a
Imperium.
imperium. What is it? What's the guy's name who made it again? I forgot. That's my guy.
I forget the guy back in the day. The only one I know is Balisarius, whatever his name is. Yeah, Balisarius.
No. I'm talking about the nigga who made the whole shit. This is his version of
Talking
Star
the
Wars.
movie?
What's the nigga
Oh,
name?
Zack to the Snyder.
Yeah, there you go. It's Zack Snyder, you know what I'm saying, like version of Star Wars. So it's pretty cool. So like Empire, Emporium, you got like words like that that just sort of bounce off each other and shit like that. So it's pretty cool though, you know what I'm saying? Shorty
Yeah,
hiding
I
out, you know what
guess.
I'm saying, hiding from the Emporium and all that shit. They come down to the land where she's at, unknowingly where she's at. And basically, you know, say they want everything. They want everything. They start killing motherfuckers and shit like that. They go on a quest, find some people to help them out. They recruit some people. Some people betray them. Like this is literally the movie.
Spark
Yeah,
Notes,
so,
yes.
yeah. Some people betray them. What you call it? It's a big fight.
Some friends,
It does
everybody's friends right away. Like, there's nothing like,
everybody.
yeah, everybody's just like, hey, you want to go fight the Imperium? Hey, friends.
Yeah, I think we had said that to each other before. We was like, yeah, these niggas didn't question nothing. But you know what? Now that I watch it again, I think it was just the state of everything. Like they knew the Emporium niggas was wherever they went, they all had their stories. They was taking everything. So they was like, you want to fight? Hell yeah! Everybody was just hyped, like, cause they was tired of them niggas.
Like, you're, why fight the Imperium? Hmm.
They were just waiting for somebody to ask, basically. Like they been
I
itching.
like that idea.
Like the nigga who was chained up, who was indebted to somebody before he freed the Griffin.
Tarek.
The nigga was just there. It was like you think about it, he was there of his own free will. As soon as somebody came with the offer, like, you want to come fight? That nigga said, "What I gotta do to get up?"
Nah,
Like
he
that
owed
nigga
that
was
dude
gone.
something. He owed that dude something.
Right, but he was willing to work that shit. But as soon as somebody came with an offer, he like, nigga, like, what I gotta do to get out of this? Let me out. I ain't working this shit no more. I'm going to fight the Emporium, nigga.
I'll ride your Griffin.
Like, yeah, anything I gotta do, anything.
Tame that, tame that bird creature thing. I got you.
That shit was dope. That shit was dope. But you know what? The fights in the if y'all watch when y'all watch it, Rebel Moon, you know what I'm saying? The fights in it is the best part of both movies, to me, in my opinion, was what's his name? Noble. Noble was like one of
Noble.
the he's like the
Forget his
Emporium's
first name, but whatever.
lead general or something like that. He, you know what I'm saying? He just be going, oh, admiral or something. He's be going ham. Nigga be hitting niggas with the big
Noble
caveman.
definitely is the best part about the movie.
Yeah. I don't get front. He was knocking niggas' heads off with the caveman stick and shit like that. That shit was dope. Like he was
The
bashing niggas' heads in.
cybernetic dome and shit.
Where he's like, yeah, half. I don't know what is he. He's like, what is he, Neat? What the fuck is he?
I don't know.
This
Some
nigga
kind
like
of
an
machine.
android.
I don't know if he's supposed to be
Pressure.
human. They got machine mechanized, but he is something mechanical.
Nigga like Android 71 or some shit.
If they don't want him to, he don't die. I tell you that much. Well, I mean,
Word. The
I guess
fights
I
between the
mean,
shorty and him though, I ain't gonna front. Both of them were fire.
yeah, they was cool fights. Um,
They're like the only fights, but you know what I'm saying? They were definitely fire.
is there anything
They
else we
weren't the
gotta go
only.
over in one that we missing?
A few people died the last fight. You know what I'm saying? The black man died with the I forgot his name.
We'll go over the what's the crew's name? Is it Cora? Uh, I learned this in the second movie because I don't think they really said his name out loud in the first movie.
The farmer?
Like what?
Yeah.
What? I thought it was like Gunnar, Gunnar or something like that. What's Gunnar? Gunnar.
Yeah, he got that's
So
a weird ass
Cora,
name.
Gunnar, uh, Titus, Mr. Dirty Man from the first movie,
Right.
Tarek. What's Homegirl's name again? It's someone with a Z, right? I got it right here.
Oh, let me see. I'm about to actually.
It is Nemesis, not even with a Z. Lied to you. And then you got Milius, the chick who was running around with Blood Axe. I like her
Yeah,
name for
yeah.
some reason. Milius.
Some other
Abilius,
ones,
Abilius,
other
Abilius,
ones to
Abilius,
mention.
Abilius, Milius, Abilius, Abilius.
Kai was the nigga
My
that
bad.
betrayed them.
Yeah,
Uh,
he dead though.
yeah, yeah, he died. Yeah, he died. He died in part one.
Prayer got betrayed.
Yeah, I mean, Rebel Moon Part One was pretty cool. So
It was
basically,
pretty
you
cool.
know,
It was alright. I like that movie.
that's been out for a while. But then that brings us to Rebel Moon Part Two,
Scargiver.
Scargiver, and that story, and that's you know what, and that whole story behind that is actually I think it was pretty decent. I know we had
Yeah.
spoke about it before. You know, you was like, it's pretty decent. I feel like it.
Oh, compared to the first
uh,
one, it was just it felt dry because I felt like it didn't go anywhere really. Like it kind of like just
like
set in
you
one
mean like
place.
as scene wise?
Yeah, they
That's what
kind
you're
of just
trying to
set in
say.
one place, so it kind of just felt like empty compared to like the first movie where it was like all over the place and like it felt like an actual adventure. This just felt like an event.
Okay, you know what? I didn't even have that perspective, but now that you say it though, I sort of I see that because it definitely did just take like they didn't go off planet. They was right there on the
I mean,
farm the whole
technically
time.
they did, but they technically didn't. So like, yeah, I get
Yeah,
what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
yeah, for like, yeah, I know what you, yeah, for a little, it flew a little bit, but like, um, yeah. So I mean, the other scenes was just the Emporium niggas. Really, they showing them, and then they were showing the build up. So yeah, I mean, I get that. Definitely was more of an event than an adventure. Yeah,
So I mean,
right about
are we
that.
gonna do kind of like the briefing of what happened, and then kind of go over the feelings?
Yeah, start it up, jump it up,
Cool. So the
start it
movie
up.
begins with this like little recap of what happened in the first movie. So basically, what me and Moeblak just did, just a little shorter because it was in live action on TV and shit. Um, then it shows you that Admiral Noble is like we already know not dead, but like they're like finishing up healing him up because like this is happening basically right after the events of the movie. Like they ain't even like that far removed. The crew I don't even think has gotten back to the village yet. Like they're just appearing at the village when we get there, when we see them
Yeah,
again.
they were traveling. They was traveling. Yep.
Noble um, assumes that she's on Velt, which is a planet that we're on when we're in the whole entire movie because this is where the village is. He decides that he's gonna go over there and exact revenge, bring her in because he now knows that this is the Scar Giver. Armatheus, aka Korra.
The daughter
Um,
of Belisarius, right?
yeah. So back on Velt, the crew is just returning to the village from the events of the last movie, and then they kind of do their little intros and say hi to everybody. So it's not really nothing important there. But then they kind of jump back to the ship, and they had Cassius, uh, the like sidekick dude to Noble. He's talking to Eris, the soldier who turned on the Imperium, but they don't know that yet because he's been faking it that everything's going like as planned. So they're talking. He basically tells him that we're on our way down there, bro. Like so we'll see y'all soon. And Eris is kind of probably like shitting his pants. He's got to be shitting his pants because the whole army's coming and everybody that you
Yeah.
came with is dead, and you're just chilling,
But
living
now
the
they
good
knew.
life.
Remember,
No,
they knew. They
yeah,
knew
but that was
too.
like later on when Noble like was up and running and shit like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
he was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I kind of he
Oh yeah, it
basically
was two
assumed
phone
it.
calls. It was two phone calls.
Yeah.
Right,
But then we cut to a scene in the village where they're kind of like discussing what's gonna happen and stuff like that. And I, I kind of forget what Titus was saying. I don't think Titus was even speaking there. But she's telling them that he's dead, and they don't really got to worry about the Imperial no more because Imperium no more because they normally just go home when drastic shit happens like that. They go back to wherever they're from,
when
and
the
that's
admiral dies, they got to return back to the home world.
to
Some
the
shit.
motherland or whatever they called it, to the mother planet or ship. But then Eris comes running in at the exact moment that she's talking about this shit. And she's like, and he's like, no, he ain't. The motherfucker's on the way down here right now. You're wrong. Stop lying to these people. And she's like,
She was in
we seen them die.
disbelief.
Yeah, we seen them die. Like, what the fuck?
She
Um,
like the nigga dropped off a fucking floating platform.
yeah, so yeah, exactly, he dropped off a platform. But then we get to a scene where Cora and Gudar. What the I'm just calling him Gun from here on out. Like, there you go. Your name's Gun now. You didn't even get Dinar because
I don't
I
know
gotta
why
pronounce
they
it all
did
stupid.
that.
He's
I don't know
he's
why
just
they even
Gunner.
name him
I'm
like
just
that.
pronouncing Gunner honestly to make it easier on myself. So you get a
Or
scene where like
Gunnar.
Gunnard,
Gunnar.
but you get a scene where Cora and him are out there talking, and she kind of tells him the gist of everything that's like going on with her life and why she's known as the Scargiver. So you basically get the story of her killing the princess, and was kind of funny because she does this job for Balisarius, and he instantly does this like fake act, and everybody just goes along with his fake act, where he's
Yo,
like,
that shit was crazy.
"Yeah, he's the princess."
They basically the king. I'm gonna let Seagull continue, but basically, let me paint this picture. They walk into the king, the queen, and the daughter walks into a hall where they're supposed to be escorted somewhere. Something's supposed to happen. I don't know. So mad people's around them. The
Mm-hmm.
king's like, "Hey, what the hell's going on here? Something's not lit." You know what I'm saying? And then they all just looking at him and shit like that. So basically, they get the like, "Oh shit, about to go down." Niggas pull out the knives and shit like that. Everybody around them starts stabbing them. Feel basically everybody's around them stabbing them. Literally everybody's involved. Stab, 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 stab. The daughter's the last one. Cora is like hesitant to shoot her. This nigga Belisarius is like, shoot, shoot. So bow, she shoots.
Girl say something
Shorty
like, "You
hits
have
the.
my forgiveness" or something like that, and she was like, "Don't
Oh, I missed
even,
that. Yeah,
don't
she
even."
said, yeah. Say you have my forgiveness. Boom, shot her. Boom, she hits the ground. Right. Instantly, when she hits the ground, the nigga Belisarius, because he's kneeling over the nigga he stabbed, the king he stabbed. The nigga looked up like this. He looked up slow. He said, "Murderer." Nigga looked at her and said,
Nigga,
"Murderer."
I was in tears when he turned the tables on. I was like, "What the fuck, bro?"
And then everybody, then he gave a little speech real quick, and then just kept saying "murderer." Everybody was like, "Murderer."
Yeah, and yo, it's not even like they just sat there in silence and tried to arrest her. Like they all started acting like
And I mean, they're yelling this with knives in their hand, bloody knives in their hand. They're named "murderer."
and we got there. It was too late, and we all pulled out our knives and surrounded her.
Yo, this
She
shit was
killed the
crazy.
princess.
that scene had me laugh. You can
Bro.
continue though, but
Nah,
that
bro.
shit had me laughing, bro.
Nah, Free Fa. I hope I'm saying his name right. I gotta keep fucking it up. But Fra Fee, I think is what it
Nigga
actually
said another name.
is.
Nigga didn't even stick to it. Nigga instantly switched the name up. Like, who are we talking about now?
Dog. Nah, I'm just
Yo,
trying to
that
get his
was
name right,
funny.
and I'm taking the two stabs that I think is the closest to what it
Oh
actually
shit.
is. And hopefully I got it. So sorry if I fucked his name up either of those times. But
That
you
was
know,
funny.
he's killing that role as Ballesteros, even though it's not like a very in-depth role as of right now. You see
Yeah,
Ballesteros for like literally like 7 minutes the entire two movies.
yeah. It was pretty cool though. Him and I don't know what he's in, like some type of mind trip or something. I really don't know where he's at, but
So
wherever he's at,
yeah, wherever he's at,
he's
that
pretty
that is
cool
pretty
looking.
interesting. Wherever he
Yeah,
is, but
because he snapped into the Matrix or some shit like that, and then he was
yeah,
there. So
yeah,
like I don't, so I don't know where he's at, but yeah, wherever
there is the
he's
most
pretty cool
interesting
looking.
man in Rebel Moon.
Nah, facts. 'Cause I'm looking at him like, what is his power? Nigga got some staff that's like, I don't know. It's yeah, y'all gotta watch
You
it
don't know
and
nothing about him.
yeah, really, yeah.
Other
They
than he's
left
an
that nigga
asshole who's a good actor, I guess.
left that nigga as a mystery for real though.
But
But yeah, continue though.
here they had like this plan, because Imperium is coming. They owe them some wheat and shit like that, and they ain't been doing that work, so they gotta go get to working because them niggas is about to be there earlier than they expect, and they ain't got none of this shit done for them. They ain't got enough. So they had this whole plan of how they was gonna handle this, and they was gonna set up defenses and all this stuff. And this is now day one of them waking up at the crack of dawn to put in that work.
They gave him
Now
5 days.
it's kind of jumping back and forth between different scenes and them working. So for like a good like 10, 15 minutes, the villagers aren't even talking that much. Like they're not even doing nothing. You're literally just watching them work, and all the movie is like being carried by Noble at this point. I feel like, and like a few
Yeah,
side conversations by other people.
Noble, Noble and Titus, because Titus was the one like training them, and they kept showing him. He was the one like who gathered them to talk about their shit and all that. So yeah, Noble too. Noble was important because he was losing his mind at first.
Yeah, because the
Well,
first time that
speaking
they
with
leave, the fucking village working, they cut to Noble spazzing out in his little dormitory thing where he's being worked on and making sure that he's all right. And they're basically telling Cassius when he comes in that he's not chilling. He bugging the fuck up. He ain't cleared to get up yet. And this nigga's like, I'm an admiral, bro. Like, what the fuck do you mean? How can I not go and command my ship, my soldiers, and this, that, and third? And he's like, because you're not clear. This nigga grabbed the fucking gun and popped the doctor.
word.
Popped the doctor. The other three, four doctors are just looking at him like, not getting me
I
disconnected. And they said, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right.
Yes,
I was
master.
like, you gonna ask me twice. Hold up, you gonna ask again.
Whoa.
You shooting niggas. I'm just here to do a
like
job, sir.
I like
I'm
that was my
just
favorite coworker.
like you feel me? Like I'm just here to do a job, sir. I clocked in. I
Now I
literally
have
clocked
nothing to like
in.
here anymore. You want to die next? No, I don't. Never mind. I love it
like
here. I love you,
like I'm not.
Noble.
I'm only here at 5. Like I literally clocked in. Like I was I'm not here for this.
Told that nigga he had to go through psych evaluations and physical testing. He already proved that he wasn't ready for them psych evaluations, bro. Shot a nigga
Nigga
right
said,
away. He wasn't even
nigga said,
unplugged yet. Shot a nigga.
get me out the matrix, bitch.
I don't like it in there. Balisarius being all mean to me and shit.
Word. Let's say, wait for that staff around this show. I don't know what the fuck it
So
do.
I'm not gonna lie. This is even in my written notes because that's how I'm going through this whole movie so easily. I'm pretty sure people can tell that I'm going off notes though. But
That's cool with us.
at this point, I'm just like something just feels disconnected with this movie. Like I get it. It's a feed off of the first movie, but I'm like just something doesn't feel like these two storylines go anywhere together, even though they do. That's the crazy part about it. I'm like, it's
Let me
just
tell you,
something's
I
empty.
think real quick. I think that feeling is supposed to was supposed to be there like purposely because I believe they're going for a part three, and I think part three is going to be the thing
I'm
that
pretty
ties
sure
it
it is a
all in.
part three. I think they said there was gonna be three parts to this, but
So I feel
I
like that
feel like
lingering because
it's
that was a lingering feeling. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I feel like it's because just like the first movie, we kind of said it was gonna probably there's probably Snyder cut. There's probably Snyder cuts of all this shit. It just feels like so much is like just blank and like not properly connected and not properly like flowing together and stuff like that. Like there's things missing that are obviously missing.
If this was a proper Snyder movie, it would be 4 hours.
Like if like it literally feels like you're watching a video and you know a whole part of the video is just not there, but it's recorded and you know it's there, but it's just not in this that version of the movie. Like I seen this
they
movie in
try
theaters, but like when I'm watching it online, this one part of the movie is just not there.
they tried to fill it in with that part where they all address their background. And shit.
And like you said, if it's a Zack Snyder movie, so they're like I was saying, there's most likely a 4 hour version of this movie somewhere. Because I was like, yeah, I know there's a Snyder cut
And
of
then
this.
they
You
and
could
then they
tell.
cut it back. They cut it back.
Yeah, and what they do in these movies is just giving you the wow moments. They're
Yeah,
giving you
yeah.
the wow moments. So
Or anything that builds up to that such moment.
yeah, that still
Like,
feeds the story, but is like more of the cooler moments in the movie. We're
yeah.
getting that. We're getting 2.5 hours of whatever those moments are in the movie that are the better moments, I guess. But if that's the case, I'm not even looking forward to a Snyder cut of any of these. If that's the case,
Uh, I mean, if there are Snyder cuts, which most likely they are.
never put them out. Don't do it. Don't
um,
hurt
um,
yourself.
yo. I mean, I'm not gonna front. I like the Snyder cuts that I've seen so far. Of movies. I think it's like one or two that I've seen. Justice League definitely won, and I
Yeah,
believe it
but
was.
like that was good. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but I believe like well, I'm just saying that to say I would watch the Snyder cut because I
but the
like
Justice League
I like
original
his
movie
version.
didn't feel empty though.
No, it didn't feel empty, but when you see what Snyder did, you be like, "Oh yeah, they missed that shit." You know what I'm saying? Definitely was something missing there, even
Honestly,
if it
that shit
didn't
is a
feel
whole
like
different
that.
movie. It's almost a whole
No,
different movie
facts,
though.
facts, facts,
The
facts,
scenes that
facts.
they changed
But
scenes in that movie.
I would listen. I would watch the Snyder cut of this one as well because I would just want to see what the fuck is missing. Like that lingering feeling there when you want to feel it with something. Like you will want to see what the fuck is missing from this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I would want to
I
maybe not a
agree.
part one, but part two because part two is definitely it's lingering through the whole movie.
'Cause when I say like I don't even want it, it's because I feel like this. It's not that I wouldn't watch it. It's just I know we're not gonna get blown away by what these movies are. Like there's no way you're taking this and you're giving me something that blows me away once you fill in the gaps.
Oh, you feel
Like
like is this going to be like more of
like you
a
just basically
drag
putting this
out?
out and it's just a money grab and like you're not giving us good content by giving us the rest of this movie because the movies are too not they're not good enough now.
Right, and I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. Like you just Snyder cut is just going to be a longer drag out.
Like yeah, normally when you get a good movie like that's a good like longer extended version, it's good because the original movie was good and they just fleshed
Right,
out the original movie. Like you just
right.
fleshing out a mid ass movie.
This was okay. So
It
like if you
might just hit the tier. It might just start hovering and good. Like maybe. Like that's the most you're gonna do. So it's
yeah,
not
nah, I
like
know what
people are
you
gonna
mean.
look at. I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna see a Snyder cut of these movies and be like, the greatest things I ever seen, bro. Like this is like top 15 ever. Like, like, no,
Yeah,
it's
like
not.
it's not going to change the like it's not going to change
Yeah,
the
it's not
rating
gonna really
or how
change
I feel.
the trajectory of this how these movies are
Yeah,
being perceived. So
right. Yeah,
they can
I
save
know.
it.
I get what you're saying.
They can save it. Don't waste my 4 hours because I'm gonna give it to you. Like, so.
No Zack Snyder cut for the Rebel Moon. Cinco says.
And this is another one I got. I'm going right into another complaint. I felt like the doing the work and the wheat and all that shit should have been one just straight scene instead of jumping back and forth to whatever they were doing.
They dragged it out. That
Yeah,
was,
I
and
felt like that's exactly what
I'm
it felt
pretty
like.
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in the edits. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
that
mean, it
they
doesn't add time. It just makes it
it's a
feel
drag
tired.
out. Yeah, it's yeah. The
Like you
build up
wanted me
right
to
there.
think about it for 20 minutes instead of thinking about it for 8. Like, come on.
Like they could have did the wheat thing, and I think what was most important was showing like the 3 minutes where people was like shooting arrows, shit like that.
All that in
And other
unison
than
would have
that,
hit a lot more better because you would have seen all
yeah,
those
I'm
good
about to say
moments at
yeah,
one
yeah.
time. You would almost
All
got
that
like good
in
moment
5
overload and
minutes.
shit like that.
Yeah,
You would
they
have
could
real
have did that
hope
in
in
5 minutes.
humanity and shit like that.
And you know what? They probably could have extended some of. They could have cut down on that and probably could have extended some of their stories where they was like addressing their past and shit like that. They could have made. They could have went. They could have went more into that. Like they
Oh,
probably
we
could
didn't
have
get
went
to
more.
that part. We didn't get to that part where they shared their stories. I'm coming up on that.
My fault. My
Yeah, we
fault.
coming
My
up
fault.
on that because
My
that
bad. My bad. My
honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Just because you brought it up, that shit was kind of ass. Like I thought that shit was.
bad. And that's what I'm saying.
They
Like they
speed
could
ran
have
their
probably
stories. One, they all got like they were like, "Yo, 3 minute timer. You're on the timer.
yeah.
Go ahead." And then
Nemesis
Tarek had
story.
like the shortest one. Tarek's
Nemesis
story was like
story
50
was so
seconds.
corny. That shit was so corny. I'm saying,
Like
yo,
her,
damn.
the emotion she was trying to convey was not conveyed.
Yeah.
It was
I
not. It
damn
was
bitch.
not
So
on.
they
Not
come and
hitting.
slaughter your family, and then you
She
get
took
angry and
off
cut
her
off
own
your arm.
arms. These mechanical arms
And she
on.
said, "What I became was, bitch.
A
What you
tool
became was
for
crazy.
revenge.
Like you became crazy. The hell you became. You should have stayed.
Nah, Nemesis, man. Oh man, yeah.
But yeah,
But
go
let me
ahead,
get there.
continue,
Let me
bro.
get there.
Yeah.
So after my complaints, thank you very much. I'll get off my soapbox now. Back to the movie. Eris is still lying to Cassius, and this is where Noble's behind the scenes, and he's like, "That motherfucker lying. Ain't shit going down that he said is going down." Core is there. I know my army ain't just breathing easy while Cora down there with her goons and shit like that. Which
Yeah,
he's right.
nah.
He right. He's smart.
They was scared of Titus.
He was not no dummy.
Yeah, they wasn't they was like, nah, she got Titus on her team. It's a problem.
So here's where I get to another one of those divots where I got to make a point here. This is where the banner scene happens, where they like pass out the little banners, telling what they mean to the village and stuff like that. And I thought this was a not excellent or like really good scene, but I thought this was a good scene. This and the scene where Noble kills the doctor are the two best scenes in the movie so far.
When they passing out the banner?
Where they had like the little knitted things with the animals on them, and they were telling them what they
Oh
represented
yeah,
to the
yeah,
village.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, these are the two best scenes in the movie because they're actually like meaningful and shit like that. Like showing how crazy and chaotic this one is, and then just showing how important and how much gratitude they have to what they just did.
Yeah, yeah. It was Shorty. It was Shorty who did that.
It felt like actual story and like like oh my god, get a connection to these people, like figure out who they are, like some real building of
I
a
mean,
world.
yeah. I thought that was a cool scene as well.
I
I
said
didn't think
wasn't
about it
really good
as
or
like the
excellent.
best
It's
scenes.
just
I honestly
the best
I
scene
didn't
is
think
later.
about that one as the best scene. Yeah, but yeah, that one was for it to be a non-action scene. It definitely still captures you because, like you said, what she's saying about them, you like, oh okay,
That's what I'm saying.
this
Like
is
as just a movie
yeah,
having good scenes is not just relying on action.
yeah.
So far, these are the best two scenes in the movie.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Maybe
So
you
right
mix
now,
in
yeah.
Titus doing his little speech and shit like that, but that like I guess maybe like, but it wasn't really better than
Yeah,
these two scenes.
I
Like
mean, yeah, if you was to throw that in there, that'd be the third, maybe lesser. You
yeah,
know?
at this point in the movie,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
then you get a Titus singing and shit.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Yo, when he got up there and as soon as he started singing, I said, What the fuck?
Oh, here I am.
I
I was
said, yo,
like,
whoever be writing these songs for these movies be wilding the fuck out.
hey, imagine, nah, but imagine if you found like there's some Swahili shit that like, actually exists and shit. Like,
Yo,
oh, that's a real
that
song.
shit better not. That shit better not be on the soundtrack. That shit that better not be on
Nigga,
the Rebel Moon
Titus. Whatever
soundtrack.
that shit called by Titus.
That shit was. I said, what the fuck is going
he
on?
got deep down in there for those noises.
Yo, he stood up. I'm thinking this nigga about to give a profound speech.
He started
Yo,
singing.
yo, yeah. I said, "Oh
Everybody just started
shit!"
looking at him like,
Like imagine being there. I'd have been like I'd have been looking at him my cup. As soon as he started singing, I'd have been like,
"Yeah, I know
"What
we
the
on the movie set of
fuck?"
Rebel Moon, but I'm pulling out my phone." Like, look at this nigga, guys.
Like anybody else see this
I,
shit?
I
This shit
hope the
is
cameraman don't.
crazy.
I hope the cameraman don't catch me.
that that would have been funny. You seen one of them niggas like,
Yep. And then you see my boy, the robot. I called him here because I forgot his name, but my boy Jimmy. My boy Jimmy looking on from a distance while my boy's singing and shit. And I'm like, ooh, Jimmy, you're back with your deer antler horns.
that shit was crazy because that nigga popped out like a motherfucking animal. Because as soon as he heard that singing, that
Oh,
nigga was
yeah.
like,
Nigga said,
"Who that over there? Who the fuck they brought to the village?"
what beautiful noise. I haven't heard anybody sing in hundreds of years.
Yeah, ooh.
Yep.
Nah, man.
So
He was the cool part. I like the robot.
so this is where the village now, after doing the wheat and all that, so they can be ready for Noble to get here, they start setting up their defenses. So that kind of like covers up like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. But then they decide that Cora's ship from when she crash landed is like off yonder. Maybe we could use that. So then we get a scene of everybody pulling on ropes, trying to free Cora's ship and shit like that. Um, I guess I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't
Them
want to say the
doing
scene
the
was
work
bad.
was
It was
just a
just
lot.
boring to watch. It was just boring
Yeah,
to
now
watch that
them
shit.
them doing the work like they insinuated they had work to do, right? Them actually showing all the work they had to do was very unnecessary. It was very unnecessary. They didn't have to show all the work they had. Like,
That's
come
why I
on,
felt like
man.
a lot of that stuff could have been like one scene, so it could have flowed and just been over with.
They stretched it out
They
to like
stretched
a
it out
10,
over like 20,
15
30
minute
minutes.
scene. Yeah, oh, even that, like, it was crazy, bro.
Of the first movie was mid. I think we both agree that it was not that great, the pacing of the movie. But the pacing of this movie was shitty. Was
Yeah,
garbage.
the
Honestly,
building of the
garbage
movie, of this
ass.
movie was, yeah, it was very, because
I
it
felt
wasn't
like
even,
like nothing mattered in the first like hour. Like,
it wasn't even too much of its pace because like how we discussed earlier, scenes didn't even change. So like the bill, it was nothing really, but like it was more so like just like what they like. Yeah, I had the fucking word, but I forgot the word. But it was just what they showed, bro. Like it was just so drunk, dragged out. It was
yeah,
wrong. Zack Snyder, that cut was wrong.
it's tisk tisk.
Like,
But
hey, yo, what the? How you be editing movies and then be deciding this shit like? I'm sorry, I'm going off, but how
no,
you
because
just?
in his mind it was good. From his viewer's eye, he's like, "This is good."
All right. Anyway, continue. Zack niggas be bugging.
Our viewer mind, we said this ass. So,
Them
so
niggas
now we
be
get
no no.
to where they start talking about each other and telling their stories. So General Titus, Big Don here, who has to sing and all this is building all that team chemistry. He's trying to have these boys looking like the 2011 and 12 Miami Heat out this motherfucker. That's what he's trying to do, and I respect it. Team building. So you're like, yo, if we're gonna go to battle together, we have to know who each other really are.
They seemed a little reluctant, like as if there was a
Well,
conversation that
that's
they
normally
didn't
how
know.
these things go in the movie. Nobody wants to just speak up, so the person who brought up the idea has to be like, I'll go first. to break the
Gotta break
ice.
the ice.
Yeah, and it's almost always the thing that they say to break the
He told
ice.
the
But
story
they don't.
that we he gave imagery to the story that we already knew. It was alright. It was a cool scene. It
Yeah,
wasn't a bad
because
scene.
we knew that he lost his soldiers, but now we know how it exactly went down, which was
Right.
basically he was fighting Balisarius. I guess he was getting his shit stomped, honestly, and because they had his peoples, and he was basically like, "Yo, take me and let my people go, let them be okay and shit like that." And then nigga Balisarius said, huh, "You want? I'll give you one better. I'll give you your life, and you can watch them die." And then
It was crazy.
super zap them niggas or some shit like that.
He must have been fucking them up because he had all them niggas on their shit like hostage.
I'm saying, bro, he was getting that ass whooped. General Titus was getting that ass whooped, and he was trying to do the, hey, take me, let them go. I'm just some drunk ass nigga. I'll
He
be
remember because
dirty in a couple
remember
months.
he was in the Emporium and shit like that. He didn't want to fight or something like that. He had made the order and shit like.
And then we
But it
get
was
into
cool.
Milius's story.
Who?
Go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say visually it was dope though. The
It was
ship
cool to see that
blowing
little
up.
moment, yeah, because like the one thing Zack Snyder was doing in the movie that he normally does good in movies is good imagery. There's
Yeah,
good imagery
yeah,
all throughout the movie.
yeah. Not facts.
Like anything we're gonna say bad about Rebel Moon, I'm not gonna act like it wasn't appealing to look at. It's almost always appealing to look, especially the way he
It's
does
more
it
so
slow
like,
mos and shit
yeah.
like that. They're just appealing to
Oh,
look at.
fire, fire. Nah, yeah,
They
yeah,
do
fire.
kind of be a lot of them, and you'd be like, okay, cool, another slow mo, but like they're good. They're not bad to look at though.
But they're
Like,
cool, yeah.
yeah.
They're like the only thing to look at. So it's like when they do happen, you're like, oh, that's pretty and shit.
Like the way he
But
does battle scenes just looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. The way he does battle scenes
fire,
is looking pretty fucking cool.
yeah, yeah,
The way
fire,
things just
fire.
be exploding in slow motion and shit like that.
We gonna get to that
You
because
get a
I
little burst
remember
of
I said
speed and
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
we gonna
it'd
get
be
to that. We
cool.
get to the last fight because remember I said I was like, this wasn't happening. The whole fight would be playing, but because that was happening, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, nah, this shit crazy.
And then we get into Milius's story, which is the chick that is left with them after Blood Axe dies. So she was like a minor or something like that. Like when she got a little older, I forget the original part of her story, but it wasn't really important. She basically like just was on her own. Is the gist of that, and she became a
Nah,
minor.
yeah, she was a camp. She was like a camp in the camp, right?
Yeah,
Like a
but I'm saying
teen.
like she didn't have parents or nothing like that. She was kind of on her own.
Yeah,
So
nah,
then
they
eventually
died. They
became a
died.
minor
Yeah.
and shit like that. Until Blood Axe came storming the base that she was at and killed everybody but her
The
for some reason.
resistance. The
Yeah, they
resistance.
killed everybody but her, and basically that was her story that she just been running with Blood Axe ever since. Rest in peace to Darian Blood Axe.
Joined the
Um,
gang. Got hit with the gang.
yeah, man. We get the Nemesis's. I might have put too many isses on that one right there, but her
We
background.
briefly we briefly discussed that already.
She said, "I was from a peaceful farm village, no fishing village." I said farming, and she came home and her home was destroyed. It was kind of like on some Naruto pain storyline shit, but she ain't get to
No.
whoop that ass though. She's on a revenge tour, I guess, but yeah, we get into that whole removing of the arms thing, putting the mechanical arms, and now I am a vessel, a tool for revenge and all that stuff. Because
Apparently, they were a fishing village that used to be
I
a
was just about to say that
warrior
they were
village.
violent people at a point. She said we used to be violent people, but now we're in a peaceful fishing village. And then you get Tarek's story. Um, he was basically smuggled off planet after it was attacked, and his mother, who was the queen, so this dude was like a rich dude, bro. Smuggled him
Nigga,
off.
the moms jumped off the
Yeah,
roof.
she was like, in order to stop all this fighting, they got to see me dead. So I just jumped. But
That
you gotta
was
get out of here because
funny.
they're gonna kill any of the bloodline left. You gotta go.
Praying
So
for his
that's
nigga
basically his
face.
story.
He came, looked at her. He could have stopped her. She was like,
That's why his story was
man,
only like 2 minutes, like 50 seconds, bro. Because it was nothing.
yeah.
Like
That's why
not
I was like,
nothing, but nothing.
they could have did a better job with those stories and extended them instead. But nah, they did. They gave us a long chorus. Like when they finally
Oh, so I
did.
was about to get there. I was literally about to get to that exact point you just made. Cause I was gonna tell Cora's story a little. Not even Cora's story, because Cora doesn't even really tell them about herself. She gives them some little half-ass explanation, like a gist of her life,
Yeah.
and that's when Titus is like, "Do you want to add to that?" And she takes a little bit of offense. She calls him out for drinking water. She called him out for being healthy. She was like, "That's how much he wants to really help us. Is that he's even not drinking alcohol right now." Like,
Like, bitch.
shut your fucking mouth. One, stop telling on me,
Yeah.
and two, you don't even want to talk about yourself while you talking about me. Why you talking
Trying to
about me?
call
You
me
don't
out
want
for
to talk
being
about yourself.
healthy?
Yeah,
You killed the princess and you try to call me
you
out
can
for
be
being
honest with
healthy?
us. That's not healthy. You are not healthy, and I know who you are. I'm just not telling you I know who you are right now, bitch.
Yeah, because he already knew. But they already knew a lot of them.
Yeah, and like you said, this is kind of like some team building, something that we mentioned in the first movie just didn't have. They didn't do
Right.
this kind of shit in the first movie where they got to know each other before they started fighting and deciding to just run around from planet to planet with each other. They just did it. It's
But then
like
when they
going to
gave
the
it to
bar,
us,
getting pissy drunk, and going to the diner with five strangers.
but then when they gave it to us, it was sort of like half ass. Like if it was like a meal, it would be like the little scraps on the plate. Like eat, nigga. Like that's how they gave it to us. They
Yeah,
didn't really give us
yeah.
like
Like they didn't even give us like hearty feeling stories. They were just like, basically, we're not important. we're
like this
not.
nigga's
Our backstory is
this
not
nigga's
important.
this nigga's an ex prince. This nigga's ex refugee. This nigga's oh blah blah blah. Like it was just so quick.
But
Like
that kind of just tells you that even if they were to expand on this crazy, their backstories would never play an impact to what's gonna happen.
no 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 yeah, and they wouldn't even be. I don't even think
It
they would
would feed
focus on
into it
that.
more if somebody's backstory was gonna play into this at some point. I feel like, other than Korra's, because that's why they eluded going through the explanation again, because they did that probably 30 minutes earlier. Like,
They
so
tried. They tried their best to do that with everybody because like you said, it was only effective with Cora. But I say they tried because remember there was like basically Shorty. I think Shorty who cut her arms and some shit. She was like, "You must know this." No, no, no. Titus said that. He said, "You must know this before I go into battle that I don't plan to surrender." So like they were trying to give the meaning to like their backgrounds and to like what they're going to do in the battle, but it wasn't effective. It was like only a Korra
like
was
what
effective.
drives you and shit like that.
Yeah, like but only and they did that for each of them. They did that for each of them, but
Yeah,
only
and like
Korra
I
was
said,
effective.
Korra got that earlier in the movie too. Like, and she spent like 10 minutes telling that story. Well, to us, 10 minutes
Right?
telling that
Yeah.
story. So like, you don't need to Uncle Ben us and tell us a story every time that it comes up time. Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it caused a little bit, not rift, but that little curiosity. Like, does the team really fuck with you? Are you loyal to the gang? You understand? Like, we don't know about you, Korra. So
Right.
whatever,
Right.
whatever. And then we get a scene. Korra flies her ship behind a waterfall. Jimmy pops up, tells Korra, you can't win, and then he just leaves. Like, he literally gets to the point where he just tells her you can't win, and just turns around and starts dipping on her ass. Doesn't even let her respond. As he tells him like he should be fighting with him and all that stuff and helping people and stuff. She's like, we're more. I think she hit him with him like we're more alike than anything else, kind of conversation basically. But
I think we're finally about to get to the action.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of mad that it took up as long as it did, honestly. Um,
It was
so we
crazy.
get to the point where they're just chilling, like they're finishing up their touches, final touches and shit like that, and the Imperium show up even earlier than early. These mother, they just looked up in the sky and these niggas was just pulling up. They're like, oh shit,
It's like 3 days
why
in.
they here, bro? Like they lied.
They did
So
their thing though. I ain't gonna front.
Titus instantly yells out, "To the defenses!" Blah 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 blah. No, not even yet. Nah, not even yet. I'm lying to you because they land, and then Kor and Gunnar go talk to them. Go talk to Noble. Cora threatens Noble, and he is not taking her seriously, bro. Like I forget what he was saying, but he was not taking them threats serious at all. He was being so sarcastic, so
Like,
like
shorty, just
child, get
come
out my
on.
face. Yeah,
Yeah,
Brother
like, just
Theris,
come
just
on.
come back. Just come back to Bellaceres. Let him do whatever he's gonna do to you, or we are gonna blow this whole place up. Capiche? Capiche? Got it? We got good.
She was about to take it. She was about to take it.
I
It
was
seemed
like,
like it.
we can't have this. Wasn't it Gunnar?
And
You were like, we cannot have this.
he did. Yeah, yeah. He was like, he had got on the radio and was like, now or some shit like that. And
My
they,
nigga know like, yo, we can start dropping bodies, or you can just get
yeah,
on with
but
this
it
shit.
was crazy though, cause I didn't expect them to do that. Like they blew up the ship in
Oh
like one
yeah,
shot.
there goes Gunnar. Took a gun and he shot the bell, so it would dong, and then everybody just ran to their positions.
That's what happened. Yeah, he shot the and then they shot the damn ship and it blew. When the ship blew up, I was mad surprised. I ain't gonna front.
And then
I was like,
chaos just starts and coming all over the place. You know, everybody fighting now. Everybody jumping in
damn.
tunnels and shit.
I was like, they
While
killed them
everybody
already.
fighting, yo.
I was like, yo, I was mad confused, bro. Like when they, with no love, when that shit blew up, I was like, hey, because everybody was in close proximity. Like everybody was right there, so I was like, no, they didn't kill these niggas already, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on, yo?
Like, who's next?
You're
Now the
like,
gunner gets
yo,
up, brushes
yeah.
himself off. That nigga
Noble
hopped in that
gets up.
tunnel. Nah, that nigga hopped in that tunnel and started murking niggas, bro.
Yeah,
Villagers
Noble
are
hopped up. Yeah, when
dropping.
Noble hopped up, and then hit nit got real quick.
Villagers
Niggas just
started
started walking.
dropping. He
I
smooth
said,
just
oh
fell into
shit,
that tunnel
yeah.
too. Like he didn't jump. He just smooth walked into that tunnel, dropped in there. He's like, I'm a Super Mario brother, professional, my nigga.
Like,
Me.
yo, I ain't gonna front.
Do
Noble
do do do
definitely
do do.
he carried that scene. He
You
carried
hear
the
me?
end scene.
This nigga Nova got in there and that shit said do 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 do.
He bodied everybody. Him versus
And
the
it's
other
fast.
in the sky was fire. I ain't gonna front. Him
Oh
versus
yeah,
the
yeah,
folk in
yeah,
the
yeah,
sky.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
dope. That was dope.
Bodied that nigga though. And
Yeah,
then tossed
yeah.
him out the fucking ship.
So
Yo,
basically,
but
that's what's happening here. This is a bunch of chaotic fighting. They just showing
yeah, you
different
know, you
scenes.
get Ares in like a barn with Nemesis protecting some people, and then a bunch of them run in there. They start beating up on Ares, and then Nemesis starts fighting them, and now we got a brawl. And
Oh yeah, she dies.
that villager that had then that villager that Mo just mentioned that ran up on Noble while he was trying to board his ship after he cleared out a tunnel. He runs up on Noble, gets the paws put on him, gets his throat slit, and gets dropped off the heli. You know, dropped right to the dirty dirts. Then you see Korra. She's like blending in with the other ships as they're pulling off because she has her own ship that's one of their ships. Because remember, she used to be Imperium, and she gets aboard the ship. The what's the King's Gaze
Yeah, she goes over there. Yep, that's the only time they go
AIM
out of.
ship. Then we see her getting on the King's Gaze, and then we cut back to the barn with Nemesis, who loses a. She keeps fighting. She fights a couple people off. You know, she's kind of doing her thing, and then more. I think what somebody came out of nowhere and caught her.
I think they all die.
Nemesis. No,
I think they. I think they all.
no. This is the only. There's only two that die.
Oh,
Well, other than that guy who ran up on Noble, who isn't even the main character, so like, so I ain't counting him either. But Nemesis does take her final bow. You know, there was this little kid throughout the movie who was like kind of like toying with her and like playfully being a kid, and he went to protect her in the last moments when she was getting fought, and that's what gave her the opening to kill whoever was like attacking the people who was left, and they had their little moment right before she died and all that stuff. So that was a nice little moment too. Not like an excellent moment, but I thought it was kind of dumb to kill her. I did not
I
enjoy
mean,
that.
I didn't really see the effect in killing her, but when she died, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Um, I guess she ain't coming back, right? So like,
Yeah, I was like, all
whatever.
right,
Should have replaced your organs or something like that with some mechanical parts
like
instead of just
right.
the
And so
arms.
I'm like, I didn't expect her to die, but when she died, I was like, oh, all right.
And I was like, why?
Yeah, it wasn't effective. It wasn't. It didn't do anything.
I didn't like either of their choices, honestly. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is a movie that's not even built for this type of shit. Like everybody should have just lived. We gained
Everybody
somebody
should
later
have
and they
lived,
died.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
like we gained somebody later and they die because like they're like expendable at that point. Like this is the main group. We don't die to the end. Like that
like,
type of
why are
shit.
y'all peeling off main characters for right now?
I think we got a perfect candidate for somebody who's reckless and should die, but I'm not gonna say no names. Maybe if we get a third movie, I'll bring it up again and tell people. But I got a
We'll
perfect
see.
candidate in my head. But anyways, back to this shit. So where are we at? Where are we at? So she
No,
gets on
Cora's
the
on the
Nemesis
ship.
dies, and then you get no, yeah, Corey's on the ship, and then Nemesis dies. After that, you cut to Tarek and Titus. Um, they've been fighting together for a little bit. You know, they got their groups of soldiers behind them. They kind of thinking that they're in the clear at this point. Then a whole second wave of soldiers show the fuck up, bro. Start fucking shit up. Then you cut over to Gunnar and Korra, who are on the King's Gaze. So they just show you a couple of scenes. Another thing that they kind of like split up into multiple scenes that was pointless was them sneaking around the ship.
Yeah,
Just do
that
it in one
happened.
scene.
That was way too long. That was way
Maybe
too.
two. Maybe two. Like I feel like they did it in like 3 or 4 scenes, and it's like you ain't need all that.
Honestly, I watched it one time and I was sort of like lost. Like when like kept cutting the Korra, I'm like, what is this bitch doing? Like just
She's
running
still
around
in
the
that one
ship,
room. Like you're still in that one
sabotaging.
room.
Sound trying to sabotage stuff and all that. I'm like, this is. And Gunnar is like on a mission trying to do something, waiting for her. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and then we cut over to Milius, who's like fighting with her crew, but it starts going haywire over where she's at. She like jumps into some water, starts doing some military shit with a blade in her mouth and all this stuff. And then like she sees like Tarek and all them, I think, and people fighting. So she just starts walking up, and I'm like, this bitch bold as fuck because she's just walking, and there's literally like lasers like flying right in her face, and she gives no shit. I'm like, this is
She
a
was
moment.
about it.
Nah, no, this is just a moment where it's obvious CGI shit going on there. Like that's about it. You know, they just had her walking. They probably just would like look tough. Like that's probably all they said was look tough. And then they just added lasers, and now she looks like a fucking bozo. Now she looks
Pew
like a
pew
fucking
pew pew.
like these shits wasn't even like kind of off in the distance where it's like yeah you just ignore that. Nah, these are shits that are like literally breezing past your
Oh,
fucking
you know what I did
laser.
like? I in this one with spinning back to Nemesis. I like the usage of the in this one. This was pretty dope. The red and
Blades.
blue blades that fighting with. It was pretty fire. I like that, and I like how Nemesis in Star Wars the red blade belongs to the Sith and the blue belongs or the
Swapped it
green to
here.
the Jedi.
It's
I
almost like
liked in
everything
this
in this
one.
movie is just swapped. Star Wars is good.
Yeah.
This is man. Characters are cool. Characters are man. Swords are red. Swords are blue. Like, come on, man. Everything that Star Wars does a certain way, they just kind of flipped it. Star
Yeah, but
Wars, Rebel Moon. Who fights
it
in
was
wars?
cool
Rebels.
because
What are stars near? Moons. Like, come on, man. Like, everything's just an
but
attachment to Star
it
Wars.
was cool because she's like a good, you know, she's on the good side, but she holds this anger, so they gave it
And it sucks because I
a
did not feel this negative about the movie during the first one. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and after the second one, I don't feel as good about the movies anymore.
yeah, I mean
Almost takes
they were
takes the
they're
rating of the first
decent.
one down for me.
That's
So after Milius is being the impenetrable force that she is and just walking through lasers and shit like that, she finally gets back up with Milius and with Tarek and Titus, and then Jimmy when it gets hot and sticky, hot and ready like some Little Caesars pizza on that battlefield. Jimmy just drops down like fucking Thor in Endgame and just starts fucking shit up. Just starts
Yeah, that shit is
fucking
fire.
shit up. He's running around. He's looking like One Punch Man, just boop, bop, boom, swinging fucking tanks and all this shit, doing whatever he wants to fucking do. And he's
That's what he was
like,
made to do, though. He's a robot who was made to protect the king. Like, he's gas.
yo,
I
boy
knew
was
that.
clearing a house, clearing a house.
I was waiting for that to happen.
So at this point, we cut back to the ship, to the King's Gaze, because Noble has gotten word that Cora is on ship, that a chick is up there just fucking shit up. So he went looking for her. He found her. What happens is he pulls the gun out. He's talking his shit. They were about to go start fighting, and Gunnar, who is still on the ship, pulls out his little toolie and shoots some shit, and it blows the fuck up. So everything starts going crazy because they planted bombs on the King's Gaze and they setting all this shit off.
Yeah,
So
no,
everything starts
that
blowing the
that
fuck
last
up.
that last part was crazy. I ain't gonna front that explosion, and then the ship
This is where the
slowly breaking
movie
down,
is
falling. That
actually
shit was fire.
entertaining. This part right here is where the movie like, oh, we're entertained. I am super entertained now. So that shit starts happening, and explosive Gunner gets shot in the stomach or some shit like that. My boy takes a bullet or a laser, whatever they shoot. Maybe they shoot
And then
nail
he
guns. I don't know.
falls. He falls. He starts falling like
Yeah,
the ship.
and then we ignite Core versus Noble Part Two. Noble gets the upper hand throughout the fight. Like I'm not gonna go into super details about that fight, but yo, the fight definitely looked great. Um, the slowdown, the angles, the things that they portrayed, like how they were sliding down and still fighting with the swords or whatever it was.
Yeah.
All that shit I felt like looked good. Like this is the best moment of the movie, which it should have been. If anything else was the best moment in the movie, boo to you,
Yeah,
Zack Snyder. So at least you did this right. At least you got this one.
definitely. This had to be the best moment in
This
the.
this was the uh this was the pop fly that you can't drop. There's no sun out. Like you don't even got that excuse to say that's why you dropped the ball. So you caught, you executed on this part.
Yeah,
Um,
nah, this is definitely. And like I want to say real quick, if it wasn't for the explosion though, it would probably been.
yeah, if it was like a regular fight,
But because of it
I had
falling
to
off the
have all the
plane,
theatrics and all that stuff for it to
yeah,
look as good as it was. Because
that shit was
if it was
fire.
just on the platform, it would have just been another fight like the first movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and this fight was definitely way better.
Because they couldn't. He realized that you couldn't just do hand to hand again. You had to do hand to hand with things in the way, like things that make it more than just a hand to hand fight, and
He
dealing
was
with all the
fucking.
gravity and all that shit. So he handled, like I said, handled that well. Zack Snyder, that was like a 7 out of 10 scene. Good shit.
Yeah, pretty
Because the rest of this movie is like a fucking 6.
cool.
So, like, damn. But so Noble, as he normally does in these movies, he gets the upper hand on Cora. Um, Gunner then stabs Noble. He comes out of nowhere after they fall. They lose their swords. Gunner somehow down there, like obviously he probably fell with them, just off to the side, in pain because he's got that wound to his stomach already. But he stabs Noble. That kind of ends the fight right there. And then he like gets his hand caught in a fucking door trying to get away or some shit like that. And then when he tries to get away, they closed it on him, closed the doors on him, so he's
Yeah,
just stuck there. And then she takes off his head. So Noble, you were cool while you lasted. You were the best part of these movies. I don't know what they're gonna do without you. Fra
he's
fee
definitely
fee
dead
fra.
now.
Sorry, my boy. You better carry from here on out. If they do more movies, you better carry. I'm pretty sure you will.
Yeah, nah, he got it.
Um,
He's definitely gonna have to have a bigger presence. Definitely,
hmm
automatic.
and then Kor and Gunnar narrowly escape the King's gaze. Typical movie fashion. They don't even. I don't even think they really show the exact. Yeah, they did. They showed the exact escape, and then they go crash land again. Crash land in that ship. Got to do it. Um,
And Gunnar died.
yeah, Gunnar starts fading away. He's having that little goodbye conversation. He's like, "You're the best thing that ever happened to me. You're the greatest thing for this whole village. Everybody loves you. You did so much. We did so much." And right as what's her name? Devra Bloodaxe appears on the scene. with the rest of the Blood Axe army to clear out the rest of the fucking
With the
Imperium soldiers,
resistance.
the resistance, and
The nigga
clear out the
dies.
rest of the fucking Imperial army. Gunnar dies. Cora doesn't notice right away because she's so busy. Like, hey, look, we did it. That's enough time. I don't even know why Dever and them showed up. How they know to show up there?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they got like a radio to them before. And then they took a little time getting there. I don't know.
Okay,
I
so I
really
was happy
don't
because I
know.
thought I missed something. I was like, did I miss a part where they like radioed them, where like Milius made contact with them? Like,
I was just like, damn, they just conveniently come after all the hard work.
exact. I'm like, where'd you come from, Dever? Like, it's good to see you. It is nice to see you, but where'd you come from? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Dever Blood Axe.
Yeah, because
but
there was still people who's trying to there was still some people trying to fight them, even though the nigga was dead.
yeah.
Still had ships there
But
and
I
shit
mean,
like.
so they close out. They do their job, and then they go
Yeah,
and they honor the fallen soldiers. So at this point, that's like all the villagers who were in the tunnel, some other people, Nemesis. Uh, Rest in peace to them. Your movie's still a six, but
but
but while honoring them, Cora decides to finally come clean about who she really is to the rest of the villagers. A little late for that, but okay. Titus then walks up. He kind of gives her the acknowledgement. He's like, yo, I knew you were who you were this whole time. How could I not? I fought with your people. Like, come on, man. But, Dever Blood Axe basically tells her that if you're going to go fight the Imperial Blood Axe gang and the Resistance is down to help you out. So, more people who are just down. I mean, it's better than just being down for the and we don't know you
I
type shit.
wanna
But
be
if you're down,
down,
and
but
then they basically
you
get
don't.
Jimmy to declare that he's gonna fight. Also, Jimmy said, "Tag me in, bitches. I'm now fighting with y'all." And then Cora basically tells her that the next movie will be to fight and to find her because Titus tells Cora that the princess ain't dead. And honestly, I'm in my head when this happens. Like, if he knew this was Amathera's all this time and he knew that that was like a trauma that she was guilting over, why did you wait all this fucking time to tell her this shit? You talking about all this, gotta know who each other is, gotta be honest with each other. You been hiding this shit. You want some Captain America shit. Out here knowing who killed Tony Stark's parents, and you just out here running around joyriding next to this nigga like you don't know. Like what
Yeah,
the fuck
that's
is all
crazy.
this shit, bro?
That is
So
crazy.
I was disappointed in Ballhead
Yeah.
Titus,
When
man.
he said that, I was just like, I was a little taken
Holding
back too.
valuable information like that.
I was like, the bitch got shot in her chest.
You know this chick is alive, and you know she's most likely grieving about this shit, and you just like, well, maybe I'll tell her,
nigga
maybe I won't.
said, nigga said, you don't think she could be killed so easily, can you? I'd have been like, yes, I shot her point blank range, nigga. She fell.
I ran away
Like,
because they was telling me I murdered her. Like,
yeah, I'm like, they were screaming murderer, nigga. Yeah, I thought she died.
was oozing some sparkly shit. I thought she was dead, bro. Like what? I thought that's what her people do when they die.
Talk about, do I think she could be killed so easily? Nigga, I'll shoot you right now.
um, but yeah, that's the movie. That's Rebel Moon Part Two.
Yeah, that's it, y'all. That listen,
I'll get
five out
right
of
into
10.
my rating.
I give it a five. It's like
I felt like
a
you was
five.
gonna rate it higher than me, and then we went through that little review right there. And you're like, yeah, that shit ass. Yeah.
Nah,
Nah,
nah, cause you
yeah.
know what? I don't think it's ass. I don't think it's ass. I don't think it's. I think it's a really good, decent movie. Like honestly, I wouldn't watch it again.
That's why I'm giving it a six because I agree with that sentiment. So I'm like, it's a six, but like I'm never watching it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again though. This. I would watch part three though. I would watch part three.
For the
I'm gonna
sake
watch
of
part.
the first movie being like I don't even remember what I gave it. I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't want to say something here, and then we do release the original video, and I say some totally different number in that video, and then it's like, oh well, you gave it two different scores. Which one is it?
I don't
So
remember what
whatever
you
I
gave it.
gave it in the first rating, I felt like it was pretty decent. Like I said, I hate that this movie kind of did what it did and how it did it because I kind of feel less enthusiastic about the first movie.
You probably go lower then. Probably shit. Yeah, whatever you did give it, that means you're going lower.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, my brain's saying 6.8, 6.8, 6.8. I don't know.
Nigga, the first
But
one now you
this
giving it a
movie's a
what?
6. Yeah, this one's a 6. I don't know what the first one is. I gotta go double check my stuff. You know, it's been
I
a while.
mean, for honestly, I think for like the little Netflix movie that he put together, I think still good ratings.
It's a
Five and
Netflix movie.
six.
Why are you not just giving us the long version now?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Stop doing
I
that shit,
really.
Zach. Like, do you not have creative freedom to just give us the movie? Is that what's
Yeah,
happening
I don't
here?
know. I don't know who's making these edit decisions. That's really what it is. I think they creating great movies. Whoever approves the
Thank you,
edit,
Admiral
fucking it
Noble,
up.
for making the movie bearable. Cora was boring as fuck in this movie.
She was, and her and Noble got on my nerve. I mean, her and Gunnar.
Ah,
That whole love thing. I'm like, all right,
them niggas should have died.
what
I
happened?
sucked my teeth so hard when Gunnar died. I was like, what? Man, they all confessing they love for each other and shit, and you just get this bullshit out of here, bro. Why he gotta die? What is this doing for the
Yeah,
movie?
she has more reason to fight now. More reason to hate Bellasaurus.
I feel like she had enough reason already, but okay. Okay, Zach. Thanks.
She took they took her Gunnar away. Now she has no Gunnar on her team.
Haha. Fuck that shit.
But yeah,
Um,
y'all, that's it. That's
yeah, I
Rebel
mean,
Moon.
yeah, there's
So
not much to talk about after that. I felt like we did a little bit of jumping around and saying how we felt during the talk.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? The shit.
I
If y'all
felt like I
seen
talked longer about it than I thought I was. So
it, if y'all seen it, or if y'all do see it, drop a comment
I'm not
or
even gonna
just
lie. Just finishing up on that conversation, like I'm not as good a spirit as I was during the conversation.
nigga get
Like,
depressed.
like,
Nigga got
ugh.
depressed. Left a bad taste in his mouth. Nah, man, I can't do. You better write Zack Snyder. Let him know how you feel.
You better.
Like, dear Zack Snyder,
Like he would get a
fuck
letter
Rebel
from me, and
Moon.
it would be what's the letter that nigga wrote to Darla in fucking Little Rascals?
Oh yeah, just
Rebel
like
Moon
that.
is like the scum between my toes.
Just like that. I hate you.
Yeah, stop doing this. Just give me the 4 hour version. I know it's out there. Like I know you
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, when they we'll be back with this when they drop the part 3. We definitely gonna review part 3 because
Um,
I feel like it may get better. I feel like with Bellasaurus steps into it and when they finally reveal when he's whatever Matrix power he has, I think we good.
Osiris is a mutant.
And nigga Agent
Came from a
Smith.
different dimension. He took over that universe because he was just coming from another universe where there's X-Men around, and now he runs that universe and he's tapped into the Matrix. He's just bringing all the movies into Rebel Moon.
All right, y'all, we out of here.
Yo, peace out. As my boys Tommaso Zuma Paparazzo says, take care. Brush your hair.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
In the
That's all I got.
gabagool. In the gabagool.
I'm
Capiche?
out of here, y'all. Peace out.
Capiche. Be a good boy, Moeblak, you know?
You know,
I always
you got the
liked you.
whole,
I always
y'all got the
liked you, you know?
black background and shit. Thinking about to kill somebody after. I'm out of here.
Do, 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 do,
I'm
do.
out of here.